Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this first video from turkey season 2024. Following this video, I actually drove back home to Virginia and hunted with one of my good buddies, Dave Owens from the Pinhoti Project. And then we went from Virginia to Maryland, and we just wrapped up here in Maryland. And the rest of those hunts, they'll be available next spring?
My hunts? Yeah, they'll be hunting next spring.
So you guys can watch those next spring.
You'll watch the struggle.
It's been a struggle.
It's been a little bit of a struggle.
Well, we'll dive right into that hunt. Opening day here in Iowa, so we've got to some public, and we're doing the interview in the car this morning. It is blowing 35 miles an hour, just not what you want. I love to hunt with my ears. Killed them in the wind plenty. It's just never as enjoyable going around in the wind. So we're going to go ahead and head in. We're about an hour before daylight. Obviously, first day, you had to get out here early, especially with it being public. So we're going to walk in. We're going to cross a creek. It could be pretty deep. We've had about 3 inches of rain, so I know this creek's normally dammed up and holds a lot of water, but we'll get across that. We'll get up just on the backside of some ridges to keep out of the wind, and hopefully we'll be on a bird and working him at daylight. So here we go. We got up on this big knob and listened to daylight, and turkey never gobbled on this piece of public. One turkey gobbled one time, way off on the private, and I mean, we can't even, he couldn't hear us if we tried. Even if we broke the tube call out, he couldn't hear us. So since there was 4 or 5 longbeards in here this fall, we're gonna go make a big loop and hopefully strike one. Well, the first spot was a bust. I know there was a ton of turkeys in there in the fall. I just, with work, hadn't been able to get out and listen on that piece of public, and ended up not hearing a turkey anywhere close to where I could hunt. So we drove a little bit, and now we're at another piece of public. This one's a little bit different. This is one of my favorite spots to hunt. I just didn't come here this morning with the wind. Wanted to be hunting the hills where some of that wind would get blocked. So this morning we'll come in here and just make a small loop. I don't think it'll be anything crazy. Hopefully we can strike one. I know a spot or two where I've struck them in the past, so we'll dive right in and bring you guys along. We're getting back here close to the river, so it's if there was anywhere I would be out of the wind, it'd be on this big river bluff. So we'll see if we can strike one here in the next couple minutes. It's not super windy. It's not as windy as they said, but it's windy enough to aggravate a turkey hunter. The river's straight that way. There's a big bluff, and if there was anywhere to get out of the wind, I think it'd be on the backside of that bluff. So we're gonna call right over to it and see if we can get one to answer us. see. I've got a pretty good sycamore tree right here. We'll get set up and everything. I'll get to you guys when I get set up. Just put eyes on those turkeys. I had to stand up, and they're about 100 yards away. They flew the river super quick, so I'm not sure why they decided not to come down here, but there's a big blowdown right in front of me. We're gonna try to crawl to that, and if we can get there, I think we can get these turkeys killed. hens are kind of starting to work off, and the gobblers are following them. I don't have any more brush that I can crawl up to. I'm blocked completely in the front, so I feel good about them not being able to see me moving back here for whichever way they come. But this is kind of a last-ditch effort. The hens have already gone over the just berm here, so I'm gonna do some soft yelps and just see if I can get one of these turkeys to circle back and check it out. Here comes a deal fan. I just saw a deal fan pop up over the hill here. Well, I'd say that worked out. I could see these turkeys over this berm, and in this flat river bottom stuff like this, there's just berms and ditches and sloughs, and I was able to get in a ditch and get crawled up here. I had this awesome dead tree right here with a mess of brush behind it, and we started our crawl right back over there, got up to here, and it worked out. We were able to yelp that turkey back over this way, and he came in completely fooled, so it felt good to just pull the trigger on one, and we'll go check him out. And there we go. It wasn't the typical opening morning. First spot we went to, didn't hear a turkey gobble in the public, so we made a loop in there, probably a 45-minute to an hour loop, just making sure that I went and hit all those hills, and I didn't want to leave it unless I'd covered it all. And I killed a bird on this piece of public last year and figured it was on the way home, might as well make a quick stop. Got down here in this river bottom and knew I needed to get to the bluff, and so when I got to the bluff, I figured the turkeys were going to be on the back side. Sure enough, struck one. He got kind of fired up and actually got a couple other turkeys fired up, which I knew was going to help me. It wasn't 15 minutes before I heard wings beating, and they came across off the bluff down through this river bottom, and they kind of skirted me at 80 yards. They had a couple hens with them, 4 or 5 hens with them, and it was 4 longbeards. And there wasn't much I could do. I was kind of pinned down, and finally they gave me an opportunity to get up with them and get in their bubble, which is what I try to do every time I've got a sight on longbeards with hens or anything like that. Longbeards together after they're fighting. Really, anytime I can see the turkeys, I try to get inside the bubble with them, which is inside of 70 yards. And so I crawled up to that big blowdown that you guys saw kind of on the crawl, and once I got inside there, I was able to get set up, got the camera set back up, and watch the turkeys. Just let the turkeys tell me what they're going to do. I didn't try to push the turkeys to do something that I knew they didn't want to do, and I usually can tell by their body language what's going on when it's a big group of them like that. And so the hens started to feed off, and they were going down one of the sloughs, and there was one gobbler that broke off and went with them, and the other 3 were just standing there not knowing which way to go, really. Because I had been calling back this way a little bit for the last hour or so, and before I had crawled up. So I knew they were still thinking about, where's that other hen at? And at that time, I could tell I needed to call, and so I called, and here come two of them. They broke right off and killed them at 10 yards. But it took an hour and a half, so the biggest thing is you got to have patience. No gimmicks. I mean, you leave the gimmicks at home. You can kill turkeys without gimmicks. Work turkeys. That's the fun part about turkey hunting, is working the turkeys. And I can't thank him enough for the morning I got to have in the woods. It's fun when you stick with them like that, and the turkey is such a great game species, and there's so many great people that I've met through turkey hunting, and that's all because of birds like that. And just being out here and getting to experience it time after time, it really is my happy place, and so thankful for just the bird and what he's done for me and getting to see it this morning. So I'm excited to travel next week and do a little bit of hunting. You guys be sure you like, subscribe, or drop a comment on this video, and we'll see you in the next state.